This is Danielle DeVita back with another video. I overheard someone say that marriage is overrated. A lot of women say, I like the strong silent type. Well, a lot of men like the feminine silent type. And for sure, it's going down. So a lot of times people are not getting the when to speak and when to be quiet is one of the most powerful. She's going to be aggressive, thinking that. And as someone who's been married for 12 years, she's driven, not lazy. And this will make yourself and get on the right path. That understand that you might be doing a disservice to your daughter if you don't help her understand vetting and proper decision making. Now she's going to be a basket case later. If you don't help her understand emotional intelligence, she's going to hold on to a lot of emotional baggage. If you don't. Do you love him? Do you love her? Or is it really just lust? So we're going to get right into it. My name is Danielle DeVita. I am a relationship and femininity coach, and my goal is to help both men and women be in relationships that's best for them. I've been married for 13 years, and I know a thing or two about love. So I am not just with my husband out of lust. Yes, you can have a sexual desire for someone, but love is what's going to keep it together. And I'm always talking about being in relationships that has a healthy and cohesive dynamic. So I want there to be a connection. I want there to truly be love. So we're going to get right into it. Right? So if you are new here or if you're returning and you have not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to my content. I am on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and definitely subscribe to YouTube here. This is free. There's no cost at all. If you didn't know, I do have a book that's out for men, Command Respect from the Woman You Want. A lot of times men like to listen to other men when it comes to this, but it's women that you want respect from, the woman that you want. And I'm telling you, as a woman, what it takes for a woman to respect you. This book is not going to diminish your masculinity at all. I definitely think that you should read this. It is an eye-opener. I hear many people actually say that. This is an eye-opener. This is a to-go-to book, a book that you continually go back to and review a few things. And I do have a book coming out for women, which is called Girl, Go Get Your Husband, and a book for teenage girls, Boy, Bye. So this book is, those books are going to be coming out late spring and into the summer. So let's go ahead and get started. Is it love or is it lust? A lot of times people say, I can't eat, I can't sleep without this person. I know it's love because this is how I feel about them. And a lot of times people think that just because you're feeling these things, that it's love. And many times, if you don't know, and of course I'm not, a person who deals with mental health and things like that, but if you didn't know, whenever you're dealing with stress and things like that, it can manifest itself to something physical. So you can have these same feelings and it not be love. If there's strongholds, if there's attachment, soul ties is what we hear a lot in the dating world. If you have a soul tie or some type of attachment to them, if you are invested in that relationship, you've been with them for a long time, you have children with them, you've been married to them, this is your first, right? This is your first person you've been with, someone that when you gave a piece of yourself to them, you're gonna feel like it's love, but it's some type of attachment that's linked to this sexual desire or linked to maybe some unhealthy traits of being attached to them. The feeling of being left alone and abandoned makes you feel like, oh, it's because I love them, this is why I feel this way. Not always. So a lot of times people use this word love loosely, right? I love pizza. I love this. I love that. I love you. And you can love people in different ways. Of course, how I feel about my children is a different type of love than I feel about my parents, which is a different type of love I feel about my husband, a different type of love I feel about friends and people around me. So there is a different levels of love there, right? But what we need to understand that love in all those situations is going to be, whether you're spiritual or not, love comes from God, right? And love has this component. If you look into 1 Corinthians 13, verse 4 through 8, it talks about what love is. So I said before in one of my videos a long time ago that love is not what you need more than love to make a relationship work. And when I said that, it was based off of people's loosely phrase of I love this person. Because a lot of times people think, oh, just because I have strong feelings for you, it's going to work. No, it takes effort. It takes you being mindful. It takes cooperation. It takes, you picking your battles. It takes respect. It takes trust. It takes all these things. But when you really encompass truly what love is, what God says love is, according to 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 4 through 8, love is outlined. And if that is the kind of love you have, then you know that this relationship is not toxic. Like I talked about in my last video, what are toxic relationships that you should probably, leave or review. These are things that's truly love. This is truly what love is. So if you're wondering, do I love this person or am I lusting after them? Look to see if this is consistent, right? So not just one-off situations every now and then that you can think about, but this is consistently what you're receiving. And a lot of times people do not receive, they have not seen this type of relationship being reciprocated between one another when they're looking at other couples. So they don't believe that love exists, pure love exists. But out of verse 4 through 8 in 1 Corinthians 13, it talks about, love is something that it perseveres, right? It is unwavering, it trusts, it does all these things. So yes, all those things that I was saying, that no, you need more than love, you need this and this and this is based on what social construct is of what love is. All right, they say, oh, because you have a strong feeling for this person, this is love, but then you need these things. But if you truly love someone in the way 1 Corinthians 13 outlines, that is all encompassing. All right, so look at your relationships. Is this person patient with you? Or are they, irritable? And like I said, I talk often about crossroads, and patience is what you want to have. You want to give people opportunities. Everyone didn't grow up the way you did. Everyone is, not going to get it right the first time. We do have to be patient. But there's a difference between that and tolerance, right? So love is not jealousy, right? But there is a level of trust and boundaries. You don't want to betray people. You don't want to do that. So if a person is feeling like they're always being betrayed by you, look into seeing what character traits, what are you doing, what actions you're doing that's making them feel this way. If it's have no merit, if it has no merit to it, then you can say, hey, if you truly love me, you'll trust me. It's not envious. It is patient. It perseveres. So when you think about it in the context of marriage, when you say I do, it is for better or for worse. It really is. There are going to be ups and downs in every relationship, even in healthy relationships. But being toxic is the problem. And toxic is the point where you've taken something and it's reached the point of, there you would have to completely, get rid of it. Completely get rid of all of the mess in order to make it right again. When there's this a little unhealthiness where, maybe there's a spat in the relationship, it's not where you said things that you can't take back. It's, I apologize for the tone. I meant what I said, but I want to fix the tone. I don't want you to feel that I'm angry. I'm just disappointed, right? There's a difference between that and your mama this, your daddy this, and this, and this, and this, and then you can't take it back, because then when you try to get back into that relationship, all that's in the back of people's minds, right? So it's hard to strip some things. So you don't want a relationship to become so toxic that it's hard to move forward in a successful way. So if your relationships do not exhibit what these things are in love, this person has no patience for you, they're always jealous, they don't want to persevere through the tough times, they overlook things, they're not kind, they're not gentle with you. If they're not these things, then if they're not faithful, because part of that love is being faithful. And everything is both ways. It's not just one person. So it can't just be you loving them that way. They also have to do the same to you. There's reciprocity in this. This is how you know you're truly in a loving relationship. But we don't want to get to the point where we're unhealthy consistently in our relationships. Consistently, you want to look, day to day on a consistent basis. I talked about the magic ratio, and that's where for every five, conflicts, right? Five interactions, which one moves into a negative conflict and which one moves into a positive one. A healthy relationship, according to survey, so this was a study that was done and it was peer reviewed and everything under the magic ratio. They looked at people along their marriage, all throughout their marriage, whether they stayed married or not. And I can't remember, they went past 10 years or 20 years in, and they wanted to see how many negative conflicts arose out of these interactions. If it's five positive to every one, your relationship is likely to last longer. I was telling my husband, I don't even remember. What do you remember the last time we even had an argument? He's like, no, I don't remember. And again, argument and disagreements are different. A lot of times we use some words interchangeably, but disagreements is you're just not seeing eye to eye, and you sit down like adults and have a conversation about it, and you come to a meeting of the minds. If there is a disagreement, then if there's an argument, then it's a lot of yelling and screaming and fighting, being belligerent, doing things that are unhealthy, and then you can't get to that compromise because now your defense mechanisms are up and you're ready to throw bows, or you're ready to argue and leave the house and do this or that. When a healthy disagreement is, let's sit down and have a conversation about it. Whether it's compromise, negotiate, however you want to do it, this is how we're going to handle things. And then you can laugh about it in the end. And I often say, healthy conversations that are tough to have makes the relationship stronger, because then you get to the point where you trust each other enough to come to a person with something that's heavy on their heart, and you give them comfort and know that they have a safe space. If you have a safe space nowhere else, at least you should have it with your spouse, with your boyfriend, with your girlfriend, right? So you want to make sure that you're having these safe and healthy conversations, because who else are you going to have them other than the person that you're having children with, you're sleeping with, you say you love, right? So again, look into your relationship and determine, is it love or is it lust? Is it consistently, me looking at their money and their looks and how good it is? You know what I'm talking about? This is why I'm staying with them. If you take away money, if you take away all the extra stuff, all the glam, if you take away all of that and say, what is it that I like about them that's not tangible? What is it about their character traits? Not just none of their features, but what is it that I like about them as a person? What is it about their intellect? What is it about their mindset? What is it about their standards that turns me on? Not sexually, but makes me want to grow closer to them. What is it about them? What value are they bringing to me? And usually that's where love is born, out of those things, right? I love my husband because, man, he adds so much value to me. He helps me think things differently. He makes me want to pour out my best self. He makes me want to smile, right? He makes me want to do better and be better, right? There's no condemnation here, right? There's conviction here. So when I'm doing wrong, you know what? That wasn't right. I shouldn't have said it that way. You know what? That wasn't correct in how I handled this situation. You know what? I should be more this in this situation. I should have more kindness. I should have more faith in this situation. I should be more trusting. I should, pray more. I should do these things. I pray for him so often. And that actually helps me be better. Me praying for him instead of selfishly praying for myself and all of my wants. And when I pray for him and for his success, in turn, he pours that into me. And a lot of times we love this part in the movie of Diary of a Mad Black Woman where the Shamar Moore, character says, I pray for you more than I pray for myself. People love that, but they do not really pray for the other person. They complain about the other person, but are they truly praying for the other person? Whenever, and this is another way of showing that you truly love a person. When they're getting on your nerves or doing something, you're like, you know what, let me take a step back. Because I know they love me so much they really didn't mean to hurt me. They didn't really mean to do this. They didn't, and I'm not saying you make, like whenever someone is truly doing something wrong, you are making concessions for that. I'm saying look to see the heart of that person. When a person is using their anger to, they can't dump their anger out on someone else, so they dump it out on you. They're angry and they're using, their verbal or their physical to show their anger. That's not love. That's not love. Love is when people, and I talk about this often, a man who leads, everything he says and does is within love. When they are saying things, when they're doing things, how they touch you is love. When they say things to you, it's transparent in the way that you know how they truly feel about you. You don't feel like there's some ulterior motive. You don't feel betrayed, and their actions have not shown that. Like, there's one thing where people are saying all the right things, but they're doing something different. Look for inconsistencies. When you want to know if someone loves you, make sure that their words and action are aligned and it becomes one. It's not enough to say, oh, he says this and he does this. But what he says and what he does needs to align. And if you say, yeah, he said and does something and align, make sure it's now consistent. It's not in the first 3 months of the relationship and you're thinking about the past. Make sure it's something that he did in the past and he's currently doing. That's how you know someone truly loves you. They're consistent in their words and action to show that they are loving. They say things, they do things with the intention to show that they love you. They show that they trust you. They show that they're going to persevere in this relationship. They're going to do their best to be mindful of how to be respectful, how to be trustworthy, how to not envy, how to pump you up in a good way, be encouraging and uplifting. You want someone like that. And that is truly what love is. All right. So again, if you want to know all the details of what love is detailed in this scripture, it's 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 4 through 8. So I didn't outline each and every one of those things, but understand that if you're in a relationship and this is consistent in both words and action, that's love. If you can't find all of those things that are on a consistent basis, and I'm not saying point out to the time that you didn't feel that way, but when it's consistent and you typically feel this way and how that person treats you in love and words and action, this is love. If it's not, then it's lust. It's some type of unhealthy attachment to this person. Strongholds, especially when this person is your first or you've been with them a long time. This is the father or the mother of your child. Maybe this person that you were married to. Basically, this was some type of investment that you're afraid to let go. I had people do some surveys where I have a survey on my, I think it's a self-love test or something like that. And a lot of people said, even if a relationship is not healthy, they won't leave it because they've invested so much time in it. Think about stocks. Would you, if you found out that the stocks were going down, are you going to leave your money in there even when it tanks in hopes that one day it will come back up? No, you're not. If it truly is a loss, now there's like with stocks, if you know, it goes like this. But when it's saying that it's truly a bad stock and it's tanking, it's best to take your money out, count your losses, put your money in something that another stock that is going to that's going up and trending up, then you'll get your investment back. But you don't want to invest in something that's crap anyway. Do you really want to, just to say because you had time? I'd rather waste 4 years of bad time than to double in that time thinking it's going to work, and now I wasted 8 years when I could have felt like I lost 4 years, meet someone else, and then the next 4 years is the best I've ever had, tops the last one. I've been in relationships where I felt like, oh, I can't believe this hurts. And I'm glad. Thank you for letting me go, because I have the best thing ever right now. 13 years and counting. Well, we've been together 16 years, but 13 and counting. Thank you for letting me go. Thank you. I appreciate it. You actually, that was the best investment I could have made, because if I didn't, I would still be pouring in onto something that wasn't great. All right. So thank you very much for tuning in to Mrs. Danielle DeVita. Take care. We live in a world where femininity, marriages, family, and courting is no longer valued. We live in hookup culture, situationships, and struggle love. The number one reason women struggle in long-term relationships, number one, femininity, and number two, staying in a relationship or entertaining people longer than the woman should. My name is Danielle DeVita, and I'm a relationship and femininity coach. I've been married for 12 years, and I want to help you get on your feminine journey and vet for the right man today. For more of my content, you can visit MrsDanielleDeVita.com, or you can go to YouTube, Instagram, or my Facebook page. Get on your feminine journey today.